prostitute.
Yeah.
Meet a dude and flash her tits for
Someone wants to be my sugar daddy. Wow.
fuck that dog.
When I turn off the lights and try to fall asleep, a baby appears in front of my face. That's the creepiest thing.
Hello and welcome to Other People's Problems. Before we get started, if you enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll really appreciate it. And now your hosts, Lee and Lynn. And we have some Reddit users. We have one who asks, is it okay to have a sugar daddy? Another who poses the question, what to do about seeing thousands of faces with glowing eyes when she's trying to go to sleep at night. And another person who's perplexed about what to do about a neighbor's dog who barks all night long. Stay tuned. Lynn's gonna get us started.
I'm 24, a 24-year-old female, and someone wants to be my sugar daddy.
My sugar daddy.
But I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Also, I need money, like seriously need money for university bills and stuff, but I don't want to do something wrong or something that will damage me. I think this is a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
No.
First of all,
answer is no.
It seems that these days, the euphemism, like sugar daddy, all of that stuff, they've made it kind of cute, but it's really just dressed up language for prostitute.
Yeah.
Not you guys that are listening.
No, not you.
You know, if you have a sugar daddy, that's different.
Yeah.
But, you know, other people with sugar daddies, it's just a really fancy term for a John. I'm a prostitute.
Basically.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you're right. You're exchanging your body essentially in exchange for him paying your bills or giving you money. I mean, how else would you call that arrangement?
Assuming it's an arrangement and it's understood up front, right?
Right.
Is that the way it works?
I imagine so. The post says it clearly. He has asked me. He wants to be my sugar daddy, so he's offered himself to, hey, pay her bills, support her in exchange of her being with him. So he's essentially buying her,
Right.
and she's selling herself so that she can have money to pay her bills.
Another user suggests, she says, I'm not sure if it's worth risking your safety because some of these quote-unquote sugar daddies are very suspicious. They might ship you off to Thailand and force you into prostitution. So personally, I wouldn't risk it. If money is that tight, I would rather start an OnlyFans and advertise it on Twitter.
I thought he was going to say get a job, but he went to OnlyFans, so okay, whatever.
That's another conversation for another day. Another Reddit user posts, it depends on the situation, who it is, and what the boundaries are. Sometimes they can go pretty far and get complicated or dangerous. If you want to, though, there's probably sites or apps out there where you can find some. I think she's already found a sugar daddy, right?
She's found one already.
And if something happens, at least there should be some T's and C's to protect you. What does that mean?
Crossing the T's and
That's dotting the I's.
dotting the I's. Okay, I
This
got it wrong.
person said T's and C's.
T's and C's. T's and I have no idea what he means by that.
I think it's a female.
Oh, okay. I always get it wrong.
You just have to be sensible and not get into anything you can't get out of, and only offer what you feel comfortable offering.
Okay.
Don't do anything you don't want to do.
Ultimately, here's the thing. It's dangerous every which way you look at it, even if they cross the T's and C's, whatever this person means, because
T's and C's. Please let us know what that means. T's and C's to protect you.
Ultimately, once you agree to that, you become a merchandise, a thing, an object. And regardless, if somebody is, perhaps maybe you can find a quote-unquote ethical sugar daddy, but who knows? If he's already offering money for you to be in his life, then automatically it's like you're already a thing. You become a commodity. So think about how that's the kind of treatment you will receive once you get to that point. And I think it's a little dangerous either way you look at it.
I have have a final user comment who writes, I would risk it if there's some schmuck that is not able to overpower you and you only ever meet in public places. I had a friend who would meet a dude and flash her tits for less than a few minutes and dip with a couple $100. I don't know if it's worth it to risk doing anything in private though. My friend was addicted to nicotine and wanted money to fund that, but couldn't work a real job because her family didn't get their green cards even after living here 15 plus years. If you have the means to make money, honestly, do it.
I don't know.
That's very bad advice.
It is very bad
Let me just say
advice.
that.
We don't endorse that advice. At least I don't.
All right, moving right along. A neighbor's dog. This user writes, recently we had new neighbors move in. They live in the story above my apartment, but not right on top. They have a newborn baby and a husky in the small, crappy apartments rented to mostly college students. I've heard from their next door neighbors, in quotes, friends of mine, that they have been missing work due to being kept up all night from both the baby and husky. The dog barks all night. It's currently 3 a.m. and it literally has not stopped. I mean, damn, I thought it would get a sore throat by now or something. It goes ballistic, barking when anyone walks into the apartment, barks all night, and apparently howls during the day, but I'm usually not home. I don't want to talk to the property manager in fear they might have to leave or get rid of the dog. They don't look like they're in a good situation right now anyway, but it's starting to keep me up at night and impacting my grades and work abilities. Other neighbors are annoyed as well, so at least it's not just me. What do? I don't think it's right for them to have a husky in a studio apartment, and it's not right for the people living around them to suffer from the noise. But also, I don't want to make them struggle anymore or put the dog in a bad situation. Please help me. I'm so tired and so stressed out.
Wow.
Fuck that dog. That's what I say.
See, I almost expected that from you. I'm not surprised. Well, first of all, it does sound like a miserable place to live. And let me tell you what this Reddit user advised. It says, your life is being made miserable. Your neighbors' lives are being made miserable. And a husky stuck inside a studio apartment barking all night is miserable as well.
He's probably barking because he's miserable. We used to have neighbors who kept their dogs chained.
Oh, gosh.
And in the backyard, and it barked a lot. Fortunately, it was on the opposite side of our bedroom, so it wasn't so much a problem with the noise. I just felt bad for it being chained and it just being confined, and
You need room
it
to
would just yap
roam.
all the time, even during the daytime.
Really? That's really sad. They shouldn't be like that. If they got a backyard, keep them loose in the backyard. They don't need to be chained. That's
Well,
just
they didn't
wrong.
have a fence.
Well, they need to do something.
But
They needed
something better
Yeah,
than that.
yeah.
I noticed, perhaps it's not as bad as it used to be. I think there are laws against it now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black families would just kind of have a dog. For what? I don't know. They would have a dog, they would throw scraps at it every now and then, and that would be it. And white people take way too far. And they have it sleeping in the bed and licking them
Give
all in
them
the mouth.
a little crown, a little tiara, do their nails or paws.
Wearing a little sweater.
I know. They go from one extreme to the other.
There's a happy medium in there somewhere.
Right. So anyway, this person continues, but if you want something to happen to resolve this situation, someone is going to have to ruffle some feathers and complain to the landlord or to dog control.
Definitely.
And then this other person says, as I see it, you either speak to them about it, report it to either environmental, landlord, or animal control, or do nothing. Oh, forgot the last one. Move out. You have to make the decision. And I think this person replied, probably shouldn't have signed a 2-year lease. Haha, although I was here first. I think, there's noise ordinances, and I wonder if that would apply to this setting. I mean, very various city ordinances for noise and all of that. So I wonder if perhaps they can look into that and file a complaint. I mean, I hate it for the family with the new baby and the dog, but the dog sounds miserable, and I feel really bad for that poor dog.
It seems like it would be keeping the baby up all
I know,
night.
right? That's probably why the baby's crying all the time, too. Yeah, it's a bad situation all around.
Yeah, I think the first step would be contacting the landlord or property manager.
Complaining.
If that doesn't work, just take it to the higher authority.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so there's a 20-year-old female who says she keeps seeing thousands of faces with glowing eyes when she tries to go to sleep. How creepy is that?
Very.
So it says, for years now, this weird thing keeps happening when I turn off the light and try to fall asleep. A baby appears in front of my face. That's the creepiest thing, by the way.
A baby?
I mean, you've seen those horror movies with the babies or even children looking at you and talking. That's the creepiest, even creepier than an adult. But anyway.
Actually, and I'm going to reveal my age right here. One of the horror movies, or maybe it was a series, I can't remember which. I think it may have been a miniseries when I was a kid that really freaked me out. Was Salem's Lot.
I haven't heard of it.
And there's a scene in particular where I just remember this. I don't remember much about the movie or the series, but there's a particular scene with a ghostly apparition. I think it was a little boy floating outside of someone's window.
I've seen memes like that.
Really?
Yes, and because and they have the what is the scariest scene in the horror movie that stayed with you? And I see that picture. That freaks me out. I never saw the movie, but
that's the only thing that kind of freaked me out. My
Yeah.
sister, not the one who ruined Christmas for me.
Right?
That's from an early episode. My sister, older sister, told me that there wasn't a Santa Claus, but a different sister locked me in the room with that on the TV. I couldn't reach the dials, and it was at night, and
That's creepy as hell. That's me.
I'm already claustrophobic.
That's horrible.
There you have it.
And then you got the twins. I don't know what movie this is, but I don't know if you've seen the twins on
yeah,
the
that's,
hallway. It's like
the,
yellow background, and
I
they
can't
look
remember the
creepy
name
as
of the
hell.
movie. Yeah.
Anyway.
And of course, Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah. So there's lots out there. Anyway, so she says that every time she tries to, fall asleep, a baby appears in front of her face with sort of red glowing eyes. Then she continues, then followed by more and more people of all ages, men and women, until my bedroom is filled and they move slightly and their faces change in expression. I recognize none of them, and I see them whether I have my eyes open or closed. Damn. But not when I turn on the lights. This happens a couple of times a month. Obviously, this freaks me out, and I've tried to research what it could be. On the internet, I couldn't find much, so I asked all kinds of different people what they think it could be, from the people who study psychology to religious people, but nobody is completely sure what it could be. People seem to either think it's a reaction to stress or something paranormal. I suspect it's a stress reaction, but I'm not sure. So my question is, does anybody who know anything about this and how to make it stop, or has anybody had any similar experience before? I think the weird thing is that she still sees that whether her eyes are open or closed unless the lights are on.
I was leaning towards some sort of delusion.
You think so?
But I think it's weird that I don't think your brain, it would hinge upon whether or not the lights were on or off.
No, you would still see it. Like if it's like, let's say schizophrenia, you're hallucinating or something, you would still see daytime anywhere, not just in your bedroom when you go to sleep.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
A Reddit user says it sounds either made up completely or you have schizophrenia. The original poster replied and said, Why do you think it could be schizophrenia? Also, I promise you it's not made up, but it's also totally okay, and I would understand if you don't believe it. And this person replied, because it sounds like it can possibly be a visual hallucination or even a delusion you're having.
Okay, so I don't think that he meant that, oh, she's making it up, this is a lie, but I think he made it that her brain is kind of recreating this or creating this.
It's just odd that the lights being on or off affects that.
I would sleep with my lights on. If that were the case, I would stop turning the lights off.
I would be miserable. That sounds frightening.
It is very frightening. What if there's something in her room? I have more questions. I would
almost rather it be paranormal than coming from inside my brain. It's easier to exercise a house or move away from a house that's haunted, or an object. If it's a haunted object or something that has an attachment, it's easier to deal with that stuff than to fix your brain, your faulty brain.
I agree. Harder to run away from your own brain. But
you said you have more questions.
I do have more questions, yes. So I want to know, when did it start? How long has it been happening? What's been going on in your life when it started? She can't.
Was there a progression? Did it start with faces, or did it start with noises?
Or just a baby?
Is
just
there
one
auditory?
baby?
Yeah. Was it as the frequency increased?
Yeah, how often do you have it? Is it nightly? Is it, a couple of times a month or a week, whatever?
A lot of times, depending on the mental illness, I can't speak so much on schizophrenia, but just depending on the mental illness, sometimes what's normal and what isn't, and what your brain is manufacturing and what's real.
That's true.
You're really gone when you don't know whether it's real or coming from your mind.
Yeah. That's true. That's horrible.
That's my theory. Everyone is crazy to a degree. Mm-hmm. It just depends on, the severity depends on how much of a grasp you have on it. If you realize that your thoughts are a little skewed,
sure,
you're not that far gone. But when you get to the point where you believe in your own insanity,
then you've got a problem.
You have a big problem.
Sure. I got it. Well, poor girl. I really hope she finds an answer, and I hope she comes back and provides update or provides more information, because this is really fascinating to me. I'd like to know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much for listening. And question of the day, we'd love to know your favorite or scariest horror movie growing up. And of course, weigh in on these advice seekers. And we will speak with you next time. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Please subscribe.